Hey, Truth Seekers, thanks for tuning back in. It is Friday, October 31st, 2014, Halloween Day. It's a very special Halloween day because of the numerology of it, which is corresponding perfectly with the SpaceShipTwo crash. Let me show you exactly what's going on. If you've never seen one of my posts before, I talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. If you've never seen one of my posts before, please also watch some other ones. I teach how to do it in the earliest post. If you can go back to the beginning. Anyhow, what is reported is that SpaceShipTwo of Virgin Airlines crashed. The word Virgin has a gematria of 43 and 79, both become 7. The year's 2014. We're in a year with a numerology of 7 because 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 equals 7. So many times this year stories have been coded with 7. In this case, Virgin is the 7. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the gematria of SpaceShipTwo in today's numerology. In gematria, the word spaceship sums to 42. SpaceShipTwo sums to 55. It should also be noted that UFO sums to 42. 42 is the meaning of life number. Even the acronym TV, T is 20, V is 22, TV sums to 42. So do the words war, sin, gun, sub, new. Think about those words in our culture. War, we live in a nation here in the United States that's been at war for almost all of its existence. Almost all of it. So anyway, SpaceShipTwo sums to 55, a very important number in numerology. And then today's date, 10 plus 31 plus 14, we also have a numerology of 55 for the date. Recently we had the 42-year-old White House fence jumper. He was a 42-year-old male. The numerology of the date it first happened was 42, just like his age, meaning of life number. 33 days later, we got our next White House fence jumping. It should also be noted that the first White Fence House jumper's name was Omar, which sums to 47, just like the word president in gematria. Joe Biden is the 47th vice president. Do you see what this numerology decodes? Can you put it together? What should be noted is that in numerology, 55 is the God number. This is because if you sum 1 through 10, it sums to 55, and then 5 plus 5 in numerology is 10. So the number is a reflection of itself and all that came before it, in the same way that God is said to be a reflection of himself and all of its creation. And in numerology, 1 through 9 are kind of looked at as the creation of 10. So if you can put that parallel together. A 55 word that I didn't write up here is psychology. And psychology is so important. This story, I already know what my dad's thinking at home. On Monday, after I talked to him this week, he saw that rocket explosion Monday, and he told me how it reminded him how incompetent our government is. And I said, Dad, that's what they do. I said, that's all just a made-for-TV spectacle to give you that exact impression. And I'm telling you guys, that's what this is right here, too. Just look at it. It's just another coded story. I guarantee you this crash is just for another distraction, probably with some other political agenda behind it as well, which we will see in the coming months and years. What's funny is I was reading a little bit about these space flights they want to do, and they say they're going to go 62 miles above Earth. When I saw that 62 number, I said, boom, Freemasonry. The word Mason sums to 62. If you watch the documentary on YouTube, it's a tour of the Freemason Center in Washington, D.C. They explain in that tour how almost every astronaut has been a Freemason. There's also another way of decoding words in gematria where you take away the syllables, A, E, I, O, U. If you do that to NASA, you're left with N and S. N is the 14th letter, S is the 19th, 14 plus 19 is 33. I've done other posts already exposing the conspiracy of 33 in NASA. It's really a numerology conspiracy, and this ties right in here. So 55 words. In numerology, it's the God number, but in gematria, 55 sums to Satan, cloud, sky, heaven, psychology. And in this world, it does seem that Satan has the minds of most people, doesn't it? They've been tricked into it. They don't even realize it. They don't realize how selfish and being selfish contributes to all this. I mean, really, that's what it is, you guys. The reason they're able to hoax us on the news every day like this is because all of us, we feel powerless, so then we just focus on ourselves, we tune everything else out, and we just let it go on and assume that's the way life's supposed to be, but we're finding out it's not. And we're finding out because this is getting worse and worse every day. And we also see our real lives coming under more and more stress. I mean, think about wages are down, food quality's down. It's not good signs, you guys. We got to wake up. We got to fight back. We got to expose this nonsense. We need to take this media back. Imagine if every day on the news you could tune in and learn how to grow organic food in your own little place. Just little tips. I mean, imagine if our TV was full of positivity and real knowledge and information. Imagine even if I got 15 minutes on there to share this with the world, you know? Richard Nixon said, people only believe what they see on TV, or the American people don't believe it unless it's on TV. He has a quote like that, and it's the absolute truth, isn't it? For so many, not for all of us, but for so many, and that's what we have to change. Either that or we have to get ourselves on the real TV. All right, until next time. Okay, truth seekers, I just actually looked at the footage. I should have said this before. This is important. It says SS6EEN. On that Virgin plane, can you see that? S and S become 1. So look there, there's the number 116. That's 911 upside down. Also in gematria, the word country sums to 116, 116. Country equals 116. Now that next part, EEN, that becomes 555. The word new in gematria turns to 555 because E's the 14th letter, 1 plus 4 is 5, E's the 5th, and W's the 23rd, so 2 plus 3 is 5. Up there we have EEN, so 555. So 116, 555. In recent history, the Iraq War began March 20th, 2003. That was 555 days after September 11th, 2001. The Pentagon is 5-sided, 5 floors, and has a 5-acre court in the middle. It's also 77 feet tall and is on the 77th meridian on 911. It was flight 77 that hit the 77-foot tall Pentagon, supposedly. Also, it sits across from the Washington Monument, which is 555 feet tall. Also, when I think about 116, it makes me think of 66. In the beginning of this video, I said if you sum 1 through 10, it sums to 55. Well, if you sum one more, 1 through 11, it sums to 66. And remember, I taught you guys how the first 13 colonies, when reduced in numerology, summed to 66. The first highway built across the nation's Route 66. So this might also be foreshadowing what's next. Maybe they got something planned for us for November 1st. Another date they like. But yeah, you know, it's just one hoax after another. And this is a very important part of the message, so I had to get that in there. Thanks. Okay, and a question I have for myself often as I watch the media is how in on it are these people? I mean, how much do they really know? I don't know if they're just paid people who will go out and say whatever without thinking about it, and that's what they look for, or they find people who are also on board. Let's listen to her wording for a clue. I just rewound the news here because I just saw this and I'm thinking, okay, you guys need to see this. Here, I'm turning it up so everybody can hear it. Sometimes you guys say my TV's quiet, so hang on. Get a little louder. All right. I'm going to take it to 55 and see how that works. That's louder than I normally go, just for today's numerology. You guys tell me if this is loud enough. All right, let's listen to what this lady says. She uses a very curious word.
This is a major blow to SpaceShipTwo, to Virgin Galactic, and of course to the families of the pilots inside. So we don't know the details yet. Hopefully they'll be illuminated soon enough.
We'll certainly get details on these.
Hopefully the details will be illuminated. I just wonder if they ask her to use that word. I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, but I don't know. Hopefully the details are illuminated. The thing about the word illuminated and Illuminati that makes me believe in it even more, believe, that's a 33 word, think that it's even more real, is the coded 333 into it, because that LLU sequence is 333, L's the 12th letter, 1 plus 2 becomes 3, U's the 21st, 2 plus 1 becomes 3, and of course C is 3. So think about words like clue and luck and nuclear, lots of threes. You look at the history of our nuclear program, it's all threes. And this is all a hoax. And the fact that the wing is just sitting there with those numbers showing perfectly makes me think this wing was just dropped in the middle of the desert, and all the hoopla about the crash is all bogus nonsense. All right, until next time.